community in America, but also could have international repercussions. We didn't listen. We didn't listen. Muslims didn't listen in America. For the most part, we supported George Bush, which was a disaster. First of all, as mentioned in the Quran, there are 8 conditions for the da'iyah. 8 conditions that someone should make or meet to be a proper da'iyah. 4 of them mentioned in Surah Yusuf, and 4 of them mentioned in Surah Al-Nahl. One of them is basira. And the ulama said basira means knowledge of the religion. And here, just to comment on what Brother Hamzah he said, the overwhelming opinion of the ulama is that giving da'wah is fard ayn, an individual obligation. What's fard kifaya, the communal obligation, are to learn the intricacies of da'wah for the ulama, for the great scholars. This is fard kifaya. But at an individual level, as a Muslim, none of us are excused from not making da'wah. To the extent that I've seen people in America become Muslim through bad da'wah. I know a woman that slept illegally with a Muslim man for 5 years. He never told her about Islam. He came from overseas, he came to America, he found Juanita Bote, and he thought, MashaAllah. And he lived with her for about 3 or 4 years in an illegal relationship. One day she found the Quran in his front room and he stopped her from reading the Quran. You imagine that? Because he knows if she reads the Quran, there's no more try before you buy it. It's called an aqd. وَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُمْ مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls nikah mithaq. So can you imagine a Muslim stopping her from reading the Quran? Then one of his friends, his heart got soft, he gave her the Quran, she accepted Islam. After she accepted Islam, he left her. He left her, the Muslim man. As Brother Hamzah said, the majority of people who are leaving Islam are not leaving Islam because of a cognitive experience. They've already accepted Islam as an intellectual reality. Their problem is with us, how we act. I heard Hamzah just say that his sister left Islam. You know what I heard someone in the audience say? We should kill her. I just heard that. Can you imagine, man, what type of morals you have, Aki? What are the conditions for killing a murtad? Give me 20. You give me 20, I'll give you $1,000. You can't. So then why would you talk? Why would you open your mouth? This man's sister left Islam. And most of the fuqaha said the one who just became Muslim, if they left Islam, there's no punishment for them on irtad. Because Islam didn't sell it in their heart yet. But that statement that I heard tonight, man, I was like, ha! I'm from the hood. Say, man, we'll kill his brother sister, okay. Let it be your sister. And that's the problem that we have now. We became a people fascinated with law. But we forgot the spirit of the law. That in the authentic narration, a man left Islam in Medina and the Prophet didn't kill him. Authentic narration. Because the Prophet is a faqih. He understands. So he understanding. So after 9/11, what happened was, masses of American people, you know, there was something in America called Hijab Unity Day in America, where non-Muslim women wore hijab in defense of Muslim women. Can you imagine that? Florida, an entire state. And Florida is where Jeb Bush is, man. The next coming, you know, round 3. God save us, man. Non-Muslims start wearing hijab in solidarity with Muslim sisters. I received a phone call in my masjid on 9/12/01 from a very hillbilly, you know hillbillies? Country, like Dukes of Hazzard sounding woman, man. She's like, are you the imam of the masjid? I say, the imam, you know, imam, right? So I say, I'm the imam. She said, I've been watching your community for 5 years. I'm your neighbor. I see the work that you're doing with young people, your community. Y'all are good people. I trust you. My son has a big gun. I said, wait a minute. It would be an honor for me to send my son to your mosque to protect your mosque. Because y'all are good people. I said, what? I said, well, you know, the worst thing could happen now is someone walk around with a gun. in front of the masjid on 9/12/01. But the overwhelming percentage of non-Muslim people, I was sitting in the masjid on 9/12 and I saw this like fire in the doorway. So I said, oh man, here it goes. It's burning down the masjid. I ran outside, man. There's a white woman, looks like Jennifer Aniston from Friends, man. Right there with a convertible Ferrari. Yeah. I'm thinking she's burning down the masjid. Actually what it was, you know when you buy nice flowers, that real nice transparent paper? That was a bunch of flowers, man. She put a wreath of flowers with a card. She was crying. She said, I'm sorry what we're going to do to your community. So I pray God protects your community. Got in the car and drove off, man. So overwhelming support from the grassroots was very positive. The masses of American people. American people generally pretty good people. And you get to talk to them. We're kind of egotistical. We think we got it going on. But in general, when things happen like this, we had a good relationship with them. However, after that, there were elements within the American landscape who tried to portray, especially convert Muslims, as potential seditious people. You know this TV show 24 that comes on Sunday night here? That's what that's about. Muslims gone wild. They call it SJS, Sudden Jihad Syndrome. It could be a normal Muslim, suddenly he's at work with you, he flips out, pulls out a gun, starts blasting on the infidel. Yelling La ilaha illallah. And these elements started to work within the communities. And recently, and I'll stop here just to give you how we remedied this. If we realize that we can't remedy this with just speeches and talk. American people in general don't like a lot of talk. That's one thing that's profound about them. They like to see you walk what you say. So the young Muslims in America, college-age young professionals, started feeding the poor, getting out in the streets, cleaning up neighborhoods, getting involved in different, like youth sports, you name it. Coaching basketball teams, big brothers, big sisters, all kind of things involved with the government. Muslims starting to actually be part of the process. Girls, I know a sister now who works for the State Department, right? Barack Obama, one of his aides, I know her, Dadi Mujahid, is a hijabi sister who's a student of Dr. Ali Juma from Egypt. She's a practicing Muslim woman. Before 9/11, Muslims were like, we can't be part of this system, man. These are kuffar. But we learned the hard way. If we don't be part of the system, someone will represent us if we don't represent ourselves. And I went to a library one night, and they were paying a Jewish rabbi $1,000 honorarium to talk about Islam. A Jewish rabbi talking about Islam. Would the Jewish community allow me to go take a $1,000 honorarium and talk about the Jewish community? But look at the Muslims. Hamzah said, we're not active. We're not out there. So young people got active, involved. Muslims started getting involved in like putting signs in front of mosques. You know, that was a big step. And there was a study done by Gallup, and you should get this book if you can get it. In Malaysia, I'm sure it's here now, and I know it's in Britain, done by Dadia and John Esposito, which is a great guy, called Who Speaks for Islam? All this is studies done by the Gallup company. Statistics. They ask Americans, what do you think about Islam? 40% of Americans said, fear. I'm scared, man. I don't know what these people gonna do, man. They polled these people again. 70% of them who had a Muslim co-worker, Muslim classmate, Muslim friend on the bus, Muslim friend in the street, a Muslim neighbor. 70% of those people out of that 40 changed their perception of Muslims based on knowing a Muslim. 70%. So when you talk about the importance of dawah, in the sense of your own situation. And I'll be honest, when I came to Malaysia 9 years ago, I got in a taxi once. And I asked this non-Muslim guy, I'm not going to say what ethnic group he was, because then you'll categorize him, right? But I asked him, I said, what do you think of Muslims here? Lazy. And he was a nice guy, he was cool, he wasn't like crazy. Then I said, and I'm not saying this to offend you, this is just something I experienced, right? Then I said to him, has anyone ever like even talked to you about Islam? Said, no. Oh no. I know nothing about Islam. Nothing. I lived here my whole life. I just know that Muslims are lazy, man. I said, we're not lazy. He said, yeah, you are. I said, okay, well, that's another discussion, right? But his first response is laziness. Imagine if he knows a Muslim, he sees how he lives, how he interacts with society, he'll change his opinion. So I think that in America, what we learned the hard way is that if we don't make da'wah